Oh, go ahead.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, we added logs. Remember, it's an equation. If you add it on one side, you add it on both. And the benefit of this was the properties of logs, because we know that when you expand a log, exponents come down in front. Now, what should I do with my log 3? So the number you're multiplying with just goes in front. So it's just 2x log 3 minus log 3 equals x log 0.4. I want to solve for x, and I have x in 2 places, so I need to get those on the same side. So we're going to subtract over the 2x log 3. Now what would you do?
Just keep going.
Since they both have an x, we could take it out. Remember, these were like the longest version of this problem. And so then final step to get x by itself is to do what? Good. All right. At this point, if I want a decimal, I want everyone to make sure you can plug these in the calculator. Remember, they could be a little bit tricky. Whenever you have a log, if you push the log, it opens a parentheses, so you have to close it. I told you to make it a little bit easier, view it as a fraction when you go to plug it in. So if you're using the graphing calculators, you hit alpha, the green button, y equals, and enter. And then you can view it as a fraction and make sure you're typing everything in correctly. Grab a calculator if you don't have one, since you will need that today. What do we get? And the nice thing about these, we can always check them by plugging them back into the original. Look at another one. Before we could add logs, we had to simplify as much as possible. If we have 2 e's being multiplied together, what can we do? So now we can't get a common base, so we add a log. One thing that we did, if it was an e, what kind of log did we use? And that was just because it saved us some work later on. You'll get the same answer if you do the other one. So if I add my log to each side, exponent comes down. The reason that's so nice, the natural log of e is like saying e to what power equals e? 1. So whenever you have a natural log of e, it just cancels out and leaves a 1. So then we can add over the 1 and divide by 5. get 0.5219. Are you guys remembering these? So our strategy is to add a log to each side, but we have to simplify it first. If we have multiple terms or things being combined, we need to do that first. I want to do one more exponential one. Right. When I look at this, the thing with the exponent is just this 3. So I have to get that 3 by itself. So what should I do first? I can't take the 6 times 3. Order of operations says you have to do exponents before that. So what would we do instead? Now we can add a log to each side. Exponent comes down. Now what? Okay. So if I'm trying to get x by itself, we put that in -0.1845. All right, so can you guys do some exponential ones on your review today? Okay. Let's review a few problems that start with logs in them. So I think there's like 2 left on there that we haven't done yet. So the problems with logs. There are really 2 types. In some of them, every term has a log, and in some, only one term has a log. If I look at this first one, we have a log on each side. The issue right now is the 3 and the negative in front. I can't just divide it over because it just moves the problem to the other log. So what else can we do? I think it's on that page we were on, the bottom corner. Where else can we put these numbers if I can't just divide them over? Exponent. So this is log base 2 of x cubed. Equals log base 2 of 27, you could say, to the -1. So now if there's a log on each side, what can we do with it? 27 to the -1 means 1 over 27. To get rid of a cube, we cube root. We get 1/3. With logs, you do have to make sure your argument is positive, what that one is. This one, again, everything has a log, but I have these 2 logs added, so how do I combine them?
Pardon the interruption. Teachers, please check your email. At this time, I need the following students to report to high jump or pole vault: Annie Willingham, Brady and Bella Keller, Riley Flick, Zach Reyes, Xavier Holland, Russell Lemon Jelly, Tanner Lawrenson, Parker Holland, Ethan Moss, Carly Mudd, Allison Richardson, Zoe Reyes. Again, at this time, just those students need to report to pole vault or high jump.
Okay. All right, are you guys okay with this so far? So I multiplied those. Now we have a log on each side so we can drop it. What should I take out of that? All right, multiply to -8 and add to +2. So x is -4 and 2. What do you have to remember at the end of these? Plug them back in. If I put in -4, 2 times -4 is -8, that won't work. So you can't have negatives. If I put in 2, 4 is good. So 2 is my only answer. All right, I want to put just 2 more slides up here, really fast, okay? We did problems that had multiple logs. What if I just had one log in the problem? So I need to move this 3 in front. We have 2 options. I could turn it into an exponent, but what else could I do this time? Just divide, since I only have a log on one side. If the log is only on one side, I can't just drop it. How do we get rid of it? Think about the definition. We had to change it to exponential form. So if it's just on one side, we have to use the definition to get rid of it. And so we end up with 10. So our homework tonight, not necessarily homework, you might get it done in class. There's 4 types of problems. Okay, there's the log problems and the exponential problems. Are we okay with those? The other 2 types of problems are the things that we had to know before we used these. Going back a little bit, remember expanding and condensing? So when I tell you to expand, what does that mean? Everything gets its own log. So log x, if things are multiplied together, how do we break them apart? Log of y, what do I do with my third power? If things are divided, what do we do with the square root? 1/2. So expand, condense, what does that mean? 1 log. So this 1/2 will come up, so we have an x minus 1 to the 1/2, minus, which means we would divide x to the third. So the beginning problems are review with this stuff because we use these properties in solving our equations. So if you go to Classroom, the review should be posted.